An ambidex gate has been opened.
Fucking Dio!
45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
What the hell?
Somebody else must have opened one of the AB rooms.
Why would they do that? Whatever. We should be heading back anyway. I headed for the door.
Wait!
Clover's voice stopped me. What is it? I turned to see her pointing towards the wall with the treatment pods.
The screen, it changed.
What?
The screen on the pod's monitor thingy.
Oh yeah! It says recent operational records. I stepped closer and began to read. What it said was interesting. Currently treating one subject. That one subject had to mean Quark. This was the pod we'd put him into after all. I read on. 7:48, one subject released. 8:06, one subject successfully restored. 8:16, cold sleep mode disengaged. Beginning restoration of one subject. All prior records have been erased. Authorization, admin. I checked the other pods. They were all the same. 7:48, one subject released. 8:06, a subject successfully restored. 8:16, cold sleep mode disengaged. Beginning restoration of one subject. All prior records have been erased. Authorization, admin. Whoa, what is this? What is all of this?
I think it's saying that about 8 hours ago, somebody in this pod woke up from cold sleep. Well, 3 people actually. 1 for each pod. They all say the same thing, see?
That's before we all woke up, huh? I mean, it hasn't been 8 hours yet.
Yeah.
So the 3 pod people could be 3 of us. They could have been captured earlier. Don't know how much earlier. Then they were thawed out 8 hours ago and carried into the AB rooms.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I really don't think there'd be anyone else in here besides the 9 of us. Well, I guess it's actually the 10 of us, huh?
Yeah. If you count the old woman we found, then it'd be 10, wouldn't it? So, who are the 3 pod people?
Don't ask me. How am I supposed to know that? All it says is subject. A, that's creepy. B, it doesn't tell us anything about who they might have been.
Doesn't say when they were put into cold sleep either.
And this bit, where it says, all prior records have been erased. Authorization, admin. That seems pretty suspicious to me.
I wonder why they wouldn't just write the time, though.
What?
Well, you said it yourself. The log says 8 hours ago, not like 9:15 a.m. Those minus signs have to mean this far in the past. Who would ever write the time like that?
Yeah, that is weird.
Maybe Zero Senior doesn't want us to know what the actual time is.
Why not?
What the hell if I know? Speaking of things I don't know, why did this stuff suddenly show up? Seems like whatever it was that triggered this activated as soon as we opened the door to leave.
Wouldn't that mean Zero Senior set it up to work that way?
Yeah, but why? That's what I'm asking. What reason would he have to do that?
Maybe he wanted us to see the records.
Perhaps. Except he deleted a bunch of the data. Why? Maybe he only wanted us to see a few things.
Could it all be a trick?
A trick?
All of these records are fake. Zero Senior just set it up to mess with us.
So you're saying this was just a joke?
Well, I can't say for sure, but it seems possible, right?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Well, let's ask somebody else. Maybe they can think of something.
Yeah, you're right. If the AB gates have opened, we need to be heading back to the warehouse anyway.
Yeah, and we need to tell everyone what happened with Quark.
We double-checked that Quark was all right in his pod, then hurried out of the treatment center. Oops. Fuck. Is this another warehouse?
It looks just like the other one. Hey, could you show me that map? Yeah, I thought so. This one is right under the floor A warehouse.
Huh? So it is.
Oh, are those?
Those doors are white.
And there are 3 of them.
Okay, let's go take a closer look then.
I knew it. These are chromatic doors. See? They've got a little box right next to them, just like the others.
So these are the 3rd round chromatic doors, huh? I guess we'll be coming back here pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, we might not have to.
What do you mean by that?
We both have 6 BP right now.
Yeah, that's true. So?
We're a pair, right?
Yeah.
And who's our opponent?
Quark?
Exactly. But he's in the pod right now, so...
If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally. Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
You aren't saying we should pick Betray, are you?
Weren't you planning to? I thought that was why you were okay with option C when we were making the groups.
No, that's not... I thought that with Quark's condition, I'd be able to choose Ally and not worry about being betrayed.
Oh, come on. You don't need to lie to me. We're partners. That means we share the same destiny. So let's not hide anything from each other, okay?
I'm not hiding anything.
Wait, you're serious? You were really going to pick Ally? Whoa, hold on a second there. We might not get another chance like this. Let's say we ally and get up to 8 points. We don't know if we'll be able to get any points next round. For all we know, there might not even be a next round. There are 3 other people with 6 BP, right? Dio, K, and Phi. What do you think's going to happen if one of them gets 9 points this round?
That's not gonna happen.
Why not?
Phi and Luna are playing against Ten Myoji. He's only got 1 BP left, though. I really don't think they'd pick Betray. If Ten Myoji picked Ally, they'd kill him. The same goes for Dio. He's playing against Alice and K, and Alice's BP...
No! Don't even think about that!
I agree. But her BP is the same as Ten Myoji, so unless Dio is willing to kill someone, he won't be able to get his BP to 9.
Then Alice has to vote Betray.
Yeah, that is generally the best defensive choice.
But if Dio chooses Ally, then K would have 9 BP.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, it's just like I said then. If K gets 9 BP, then there won't be a 3rd AB game.
And we've already seen firsthand that that as soon as he gets 9, he bounces. So we've seen that twice now. Well, that's not necessarily the case.
So it's over when someone gets 9 BP.
Nope. As long as that person doesn't open the number 9 door, the game goes on!
So you think that K will stay here, even if he gets enough points to leave?
He's proven that he won't. I don't know, but it is possible.
No, it's not!
Well, we can think about how we're going to vote later. For now, we need to get back to the others. There's a couple of things I've got to do when we get back.
Fine.
Okay, back to floor A then. Let's move. I turned and headed for the exit. After a few moments, I heard Clover's footsteps following behind me.
Clover.
Oh, thank goodness you're back.
Yep.
Are we the last ones?
Yes.
Hey, where's Quark?
Tenmyoji's expression was furious, and from the way he was stomping towards me, I felt like I only had a few seconds before I was on the ground with his hands around my neck. I explained what had happened with Quark and the pods as quickly as I could.
So are these pod things really safe?
Probably.
Probably?
No, they're definitely safe. He's fine.
Well, are they safe or aren't they? Look, I'm just worried about him, all right? Can you take me to this treatment center, Clover?
I love how he asks Clover and not me. That being said, I did betray him, so...
Don't worry. We've still got 20 minutes left. Plenty of time to go have a look and come back.
Okay. Come on then.
As soon as she finished, she was off. Tenmyoji followed at her heels, and in the blink of an eye, they were gone. Out the magenta door. Alright, you guys got some splaining to do.
I beg your pardon?
You opened the AB gates before Clover and I got back, didn't you? I want to know why the hell you'd go and do something like that.
Sigma, take a look.
As she spoke, Phi gestured towards the line of AB rooms. Only one was open.
It's not like we opened them all up.
So you're saying only one person or one pair jumped the gun here?
Yes.
Well then, who was it?
I opened it.
Yep. So it was you. Figured as much.
It's not really a big deal, okay? I mean, you came right back.
Yes, Dio. Yes, it is a big deal.
Why? If you hadn't made it back by the deadline, you'd have just defaulted to ally.
No, not just. Are you telling me you didn't know? Didn't you find one of these notes?
What?
We found this in the treatment center.
There was no such thing in the pressure exchange chamber.
I didn't see one in the pantry either.
Huh. Well, whatever. You should really probably read it, though.
Here are some more AB game rules for you. Not voting is not a option. If both parties refuse to vote, then every bunny gets penalized. In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote.
You get it now? If we hadn't gotten back in time, Clover, Quark, and I could have died. And you just...
All right, I get it. Sorry. Cut me some slack, though, man. I didn't know.
So you wouldn't have opened the gate if you did.
Of course I wouldn't have. What
Liar.
the hell, bro?
Liar.
You said the room you went into was a treatment center, right?
Yeah.
If they treat people there, I'd think they'd have shelves of medicine and stuff. Did you find any Accelavir?
No. It's not really that kind of place. It just had those pods, and that was it. Besides, if we found anything to cure Radical 6, we wouldn't have put Quark in the pod.
I see. Can the pod cure Radical 6?
No, unfortunately.
How do you know that?
Oh. Well, it said so on the screen next to the pods. Something about how it can provide relief from the symptoms, but it can't actually cure the disease. That's better than nothing, though. Oh, right. There's one more thing about the pods I should tell you. As quick as I could, I explained what the records had said about the pod's occupants and their cold sleep.
Cold sleep?
Are you suggesting that 3 of us were, until recently, cryogenically frozen?
If you can trust what we read, yeah.
Which of us are the pod people then?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It didn't say who they were, or even when they were frozen.
So this cold sleep,
Yeah?
that means they basically froze the body solid, right? Not like how a bear or something hibernates where it just slows way down.
Yeah, I think so.
So what would happen to the heart?
What?
Wouldn't it stop when you were put into a cold sleep?
Your heart stops. Your bracelet comes off.
Ooh, that's a point. Oh! So if we got into cold sleep, our bracelets would come off.
Then we can just defrost ourselves right away.
You said there were 3 pods, right?
We'd only need to do it 3 times for the 9 of us.
Now here's a question though, how long does it take?
Uh-huh.
I imagine that will work for you, but perhaps not so much for me.
The armor.
Don't worry. I'm sure we'll figure something out. We should go have a look at any rate. We'll be able to come up with a plan once we know more.
Of course.
What? What do you mean the cold sleep function doesn't work?
I'm sorry.
You don't have anything to apologize for, Luna. Zero Senior must have just locked it down.
Yeah. But when Clover and I were here, it worked.
Yeah, I remember checking it.
Then that bastard set this up. Oh, that's low.
It is not pleasant, but consider this. We have seen how thorough Zero is. Would he really have left such an obvious loophole?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. If Zero Jr. heard me, he could have shut it off.
Whatever the case, it is an unfortunate outcome.
Unfortunate? Really? You sure? Aren't you just a little bit relieved? After all, we were gonna get our bracelets off while you were stuck with yours.
How could you say that? I would never be so petty as...
Before Kay could finish, the announcer's voice echoed through the facility.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Time's running out. We should get back, guys.
I'm staying here. I can't leave Quark.
Are you nuts, old man? You're a solo. Luna and Phi could kill you.
Yeah, I know. I've only got 1 BP.
Exactly. If you don't vote, you'll default to ally. All they have to do is pick betray.
We won't. You staying here won't change our vote.
Right. We always intended to choose ally. Tenmyoji staying here is just another reason for us to stick to that plan.
Luna has the same number of BP as you, Tenmyoji. Normally, the safe plan would be to choose betray. Since you will be unable to betray them, then Phi and Luna can choose to ally without worrying about their own points.
Yes.
Well, there you go. I trust Phi and Luna. I'm sure they'll choose ally.
Sounds good. Okay, then, Tenmyoji, you take care of Quark.
You think I need you to tell me that?
Oh my god.
I won't take my eyes off him for a minute.
Come on. We don't have much time left. We need to go.
Back at the Floor A warehouse, we opened the AB rooms.
Four minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
All right, Clover. We should probably head in too.
Okay.
The Ambidex game will now begin. To enter your vote, please touch the start button on your screen. Once you have entered your vote, the door will lock automatically. It will not open again until the polling period is finished.
Sigma, do you remember what I said back in the other warehouse?
Yeah. You told me we should betray Quark since we might not get another chance like this. Right?
Yeah. Can I, take that back?
Huh?
I changed my mind a little bit after talking to Tenmyoji. I think we should choose ally.
Hey, that's more than just a little bit. That's like someone traded in a Shih Tzu for a German Shepherd. A Shih Tzu for a German Shepherd. What the hell happened with you two? Did he say something to you?
I can't tell you.
What? Why?
I just can't. You'd laugh if I did anyway.
I won't laugh.
Really?
Promise.
Well, I still can't tell you.
Hey, come on.
I promised. I told Tenmyoji I wouldn't tell anybody.
Alright, fine. I won't ask about it again. But Tenmyoji doesn't really have anything to do with this, right? Our opponent is Quark.
No, he does matter. Quark is really important to Tenmyoji. If we betray Quark, we're betraying Tenmyoji. Come on, don't you remember? When we were going into the red, blue, and green doors, Tenmyoji said something.
He trusted
I
her.
didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted. There's one person, Clover. I just know that you'll keep him safe.
I can't betray somebody who'd say that about me.
Well, you were about to. You seemed pretty ready to betray him back on 4B.
That's because I didn't know who he was.
Oh ho! So you're saying you know who Tenmyoji really is?
Well, if what he told me was true, yeah.
One minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Please, choose ally.
You aren't gonna try and vote yourself?
If I try, you'll just throw me off, right? I don't think I'm strong enough to fight you. So...
Alright. With that, I turned to face the voting machine. The question was, what would I do? Ally? Or betray? Just as Clover had said, betraying Quark was like betraying Tenmyoji. That wasn't even taking into consideration that Quark was just a kid. And he was infected with a deadly disease that would almost certainly kill him if we didn't do something. How could I betray someone like that? Only a monster would take advantage of a helpless child for their own gain. On the other hand, what Clover had said in the warehouse on floor B was true. It was unlikely that I'd get a chance like this again. If I chose betray, and then I'd have 9 BP. I would be able to escape this godforsaken hellhole.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
So what would my choice be? What would I do? Ally? Or betray? I chose...
3, 2, 1.
I mean, I was always going to. I didn't need Clover to tell me otherwise.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
What did you choose, Sigma?
You didn't see me push the button?
No.
Oh. Well, you'll know in a moment. Let's go. I gave her a light pat on the shoulder and headed towards the wall where the results would be displayed.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yep. There we go.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
So you chose Ally, huh?
Yeah. Pork's sick, a kid, and unable to vote. I couldn't bring myself to betray someone like that.
Thank you.
No need to thank me. I only did what anyone would have done. So you guys chose Ally too, huh?
Of course. Tenmyoji had only 1 BP left, and he was guaranteed to vote Ally, so there's no way we could betray somebody in that position.
If we had, then he'd...
Yeah. You didn't have much of a choice. However, Alice K and Dio, on the other hand, seemed to have had a less pleasant round.
Hey, what the hell is your problem? You're either crazy or just an asshole. Were you trying to kill me?
No, nothing like that.
Well then, what was it like?
If we'd voted Ally,
You would be dead. The needles in your bracelet would have activated, killing you.
See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't think there was any way in hell you guys would choose Ally, not with Alice's BP at 1. The only way you could possibly vote was betray.
You could have done Ally.
Picking Ally when I knew you guys would pick betray would have been suicide.
You can't die. You've got 6 BP.
Well, maybe not immediately, no. But I would have been signing my own death warrant. Heck, not just mine. Everyone except Kay's.
what?
Excuse you?
Didn't you think it through? Your vote was always gonna be betray. Let's say I was a raving lunatic and picked Ally. What would happen to Kay's BP?
6 plus 3 would make 9.
See? Then it'd be game over. Life over. He'd open the number 9 door and blow this popsicle stand. That'd leave us twisting in the wind, living out the rest of our miserable lives stuck in this place.
He's not wrong, actually.
You see? That's why I chose betray. I did it to save all our necks, including yours.
I don't buy that last bit. I think he did it just so that he could prevent Kay from doing it, from getting out. Alice grit her teeth and scowled fiercely at Dio, apparently trying to think of a rebuttal, before finally snorting indignantly and stalking away. Shortly thereafter, the warehouse was filled with the rumbling sound of the door sliding shut. Okay, so let's see what our teams are going to be like now.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the star round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh? Then that means...
We can play the AB game as many times as we want, right?
Hey, didn't Zero Jr. say something about this?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, you did. Can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see all of our colors and groups, or what all our colors and groups are this time. Within moments, a series of wrists were extended for me to examine. Okay, so K is a red solo. Luna is a 3 pair. Phi is an 8 pair, so she and Luna are paired again, I guess. I'm gonna say that's me, and I'm a 6 solo. I'm a green solo. Okay, I have no idea. Alice is a 1 pair. Is a magenta pair. Oh, okay, no, I'm a blue solo, so that's me. I see. Luna and Clover are a cyan pair, and Phi and Alice are a magenta pair. The remaining 3 are all solos. K is red, Dio is green, and I'm blue. So how are the groups supposed to work for the next round? I think the next doors are going to be those white ones down in the floor B warehouse.
Yeah, I heard about those. Alice told me about them while we were here waiting for you and Clover. I think I've got them figured out.
Yeah? So lay it out for us. How are the groups are going to shake out this time? Phi nodded and began to explain. Option A. Tenmyoji and Quark, yellow, pair up with me, blue, to open one door. Phi and Alice, magenta, pair up with Dio, green, to open another door. Luna and Clover, cyan, pair up with K, red, to open the last one.
Oh?
Yeah, I thought so.
Is there only one option?
Yes. No other combinations would be able to open the secondary doors. Admittedly, Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here for us to check, but I'm sure they're the yellow pair. If they weren't, then Sigma would be stuck without anybody he could pair up with.
Oh, God. I never thought I'd have to put up with Dio again.
Well, you just didn't think hard enough then. Sooner or later, everybody puts up with Dio. Wait.
Yeah.
So, what should we do now? It looks like we have a lot of time until the primary doors open.
Yeah, about 80 minutes.
I'm worried about Quark's condition. Those pods can't cure Radical 6. He still needs help.
Well, we don't have anything to lose, so we might as well look for that medicine. Excelavir, right?
Yeah. What about the rest of you?
Oh, I'll help.
As will I.
Me too.
Fine. I guess I can help.
What about you, Sigma?
Of course I'll help. What kind of a jerk wouldn't?
Okay. We should split up and search.
After some discussion, Dio and Kay were assigned to the pantry, Luna and Alice to the treatment center, and Clover, Phi, and myself to the pressure exchange chamber.
Shall we regroup in the floor B warehouse 10 minutes before the doors open?
We all nodded. Kay turned to Alice and Luna.
You are going to the treatment center, correct?
Yes.
Then please remember to tell Tenmyoji where we intend to meet and when.
Okay.
You must also remember to bring Quark with you. I am concerned about removing him from the pod, but it can't be helped. Without Quark's bracelet, Sigma and Tenmyoji will be unable to open the secondary door.
Right.
Good. Looks like we got all that straightened out. Let's go.
With a final nod to one another, we split up, each team heading in a different direction. So, this is the pressure exchange chamber.
No, this is the prep room. There are 2 levels. The actual pressure exchange chamber is downstairs.
How do you know that?
Alice told me. She was one of the people who investigated this room.
Did you talk to her when you were waiting for us back in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Well, let's head downstairs then.
Good idea.
So, this is the real thing.
Seems like it.
Why do they have something like this here?
Well, this is just what Alice told me, but
Apparently, the pressure inside the facility was a lot higher than the pressure outside. That was part of a system designed to keep the virus from getting in. It did mean, however, that we'd need to go through a decompression process in order to get outside.
remember all those suits along the wall of the prep room? Those keep you from getting infected. We won't even be able to enter the pressure exchange chamber if we don't have them on.
I see. Whoa. Then that newspaper article was right?
Unfortunately, that seems pretty likely.
So the air out there is teeming with Radical 6.
Yeah.
Something's been bothering me.
What is it?
Aren't you saying that if we put on those suits, we can go into the pressure exchange chamber and go outside, right?
Oh. No, we can't do that. The door beyond the pressure exchange chamber is locked up tight.
Damn it. Just one door between us and freedom.
Well, if you look at it that way, it's the same as the number 9 door.
Okay, yeah, but...
Whatever. We need to be focusing on finding that Accelavir. Quark needs it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll go look around upstairs. You two take this floor, all right?
Got it.
Okay.
Am I gonna try and get some answers from her? We looked everywhere we could, but turned up nothing. Eventually, I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer. Hey, what do you think the deal is with this stuff about the world being infested with some crazy virus? A pandemic seems like it would make the news, but I don't remember hearing anything. Wait a minute. You mentioned it, didn't you? Back when Dio was asking questions? We were in the infirmary. It was right after Quark lost it.
Have any of you guys heard anything about any sort of viral pandemic?
Well, no, but...
And then Alice said,
I have heard rumors about a virus being used as a bioweapon.
so what's the rumor she was talking about? I got the feeling you and Alice were talking about the same thing. Clover, what do you know? What are you and Alice anyway? I heard you guys belong to some sort of organization, but what is it? Clover was quiet for a long time. She bit her thumbnail and looked down at the floor. And finally, she lifted her head and met my eyes.
Fine. I think I can trust you. Just don't tell Alice, okay?
All right.
Promise?
Promise. Clover nodded and began to talk. I listened with rapt attention, at a complete loss for words. Here's what she said. Alice and I are agents of the SOIS, which is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense. SOIS stands for Special Office of Internal Security, and we're an elite intelligence division that investigates potentially disruptive or dangerous elements, such as domestic or foreign terrorists, radical political splinter groups, and religious organizations with extreme agendas that could pose a threat to the state or citizenry. Our existence hasn't been made public, so there are only a few people who even know we exist. You're probably wondering how I even got involved in something like that, huh? Well, it started when I met Alice. Yep, I told you that I'd played the Nonary game twice before, right? Well, this was after the second time, so about a year ago. We just escaped, and we were all stuffed into this SUV barreling across the desert. I was driving, and that's when I saw her. Yep. Alice. She was standing next to the road with her thumb out. She was already working for the SOIS, and she'd been on her way to the building we'd been trapped in as part of her investigation. But on the way there, her car had broken down. We offered to give her a ride, of course. After she got in, we started talking, and it turned out that Alice had gotten a tip that the terrorists she was after were in the building we'd been trapped in. We couldn't see how us playing the Nonary game had anything to do with the terrorists. But Alice had a suggestion. Maybe the two people who trapped you in there are the terrorists. That didn't seem very likely to us, but we were chasing after them anyway, so we decided to bring Alice with us. Unfortunately, we didn't find them. As far as we know, they're still out there now, on the run. Yep, so I was right. That was Santa and June. Anyway, we were taken back to SOIS headquarters and put into custody. I guess they thought there had to be some kind of connection between us being kidnapped and the terrorist group they were investigating. But they must not have found anything, because after a few days of questioning, they let us go. We all went home and returned to our lives. But things didn't go back to the way they'd been. My mom got real worried about me and my brother, since we'd gotten kidnapped twice now, so she hired bodyguards for us. Oh, I haven't told you about my brother, have I? He's super awesome for one. And he was in both the last two Nonary games too. So anyway, we'd been grabbed twice. But the people behind the two Nonary games were totally different. That didn't matter to my mom though. So after that, all these huge men in black suits followed me and my brother everywhere. It was awful. We were always being watched. People would look at us funny because we were being followed around by a bunch of creepy-looking guys. I couldn't stand it. Just when I thought I'd finally be free, all that was waiting for me was another kind of prison. The only time I was really happy was when I was hanging out with my brother. So we were talking it over one day, and we decided to leave. Like, run away. So we did. After that, we lived on our own. I worked in a cafe, and he composed music. He plays the harp, and he started writing this kind of new agey music. It got kind of popular, so we didn't have to worry too much about surviving. Sometimes he'd play at little venues like coffee houses and stuff, and his fans would show up and listen to him play and cry. Or some of them would meet on their own and recite stuff from the book he'd written and play his songs. I know that sounds kind of like weird and culty, but they just do that stuff on their own, okay? My brother doesn't have anything to do with it. Anyway, we did that for a while. And then one day, Alice showed up. I need your help, she told us. We need people who can do what you can do. So we went to the location she gave us, and it turned out to be the headquarters of the SOIS, where they'd taken us after the second Nonary game. They put us in a room with about a dozen or so other people who were all about the same age as us. A bunch of them looked familiar too. It only took a moment to realize how we knew each other. They were the kids from the first Nonary game. We were all excited to meet each other again, and we were hugging and shaking hands and stuff. And then Alice walked in. The whole room went quiet. She walked up to the podium and looked around the room, making eye contact with each one of us. Right now, a terrorist organization is preparing for a major attack. They plan to trigger a viral pandemic. If they succeed, they will strike a massive blow against all of humanity, not just any one country. It's possible that we as a species will die out completely. We are doing our best to prevent this, but we need your help. You are what we call espers. You have the ability to access the morphogenic field. We need that. I'm guessing you don't know what any of that is, but basically we can do this thing that's kind of like telepathy. I mean, it isn't really telepathy, but that's probably the closest thing, okay? Espers can resonate their consciousness with another person through this thing called the morphogenic field. The purpose of the first Nonary game was to research that ability. So they kidnapped kids who had the potential to do it and threw them into the game. Alice had gathered up all the kids from that experiment. Well, it had been 9 years since it happened, so we weren't really kids anymore. Anyway, everybody she'd brought in was an esper. That included me and my brother, of course. I bet you think I'm just making all of this up, huh? I don't blame you. It is pretty crazy. I mean, I was even starting to forget I could do that stuff. So when I heard Alice's story, I was like, screw that. I was trying to move on with my life, and now some shady government creeps wanted me to use some weird ability I had for them? No way. I wasn't even sure I could do it anymore. Some of the others felt differently though, and they told Alice they'd do it. It was a job after all, and most people wouldn't turn down a salary like that. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. She told us how much they'd pay us if we helped. It was a lot. More wealth than you can imagine. But I was still totally against doing it. My brother told me he'd go along with whatever I decided, so I decided we were leaving. A couple of days passed, and then Alice showed up at our apartment. She didn't waste time. The people behind the first Nonary game might have been part of the terrorist organization Alice and the SOIS were after. Wasn't that, she asked, something that I might want to know more about? That got me curious. My brother too. But the clincher was what Seven said to us. He was one of the guys that got abducted with us for the second Nonary game. She called him on her phone right then and there and handed it to us. You guys are the only people who can do this. We don't know where Junpei is. He's gone off to travel the world looking for Akane. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Please, just do me a favor and help Alice out. Oh, Junpei is like Seven, another participant from the second Nonary game. Akane is one of the people behind the second Nonary game. Seven was a Japanese policeman, which was probably how Alice got in touch with him. Anyway, that did it. My brother and I agreed to join the SOIS. For the next couple of months, all we did was train. Half of the time, it was general knowledge and technical skills an SOIS agent needed, and the other half was learning to strengthen our Esper abilities. They'd actually known about Espers for quite a while, and had a lot of techniques that helped us get better and stronger. After several months of hard work, we were finally ready for our first field missions. Mine was an infiltration. My brother stayed at the base, so I could relay information back through him. I was supposed to sneak into a research facility, posing as one of their workers, and then use the morphogenic field to transmit what I found back to my brother. But everything went wrong. It was a trap. The whole research facility was fake, and I got captured. Alice had to come and rescue me. I'd been sending information about the inside of the facility to my brother, and Alice used that information to come and find me. As soon as she got there, she picked me up and carried me out. I was relieved and happy to be alive and free, but I also felt ashamed and miserable. While she was carrying me back out, I started to cry. She was just so cool, and I wasn't. I wanted to be just like her. So from that day onward, I did everything I could to be more like Alice. Our infiltration ended in failure, but we did manage to get something useful. In fact, we were able to figure out where their headquarters was. The directors decided that December 25th, 2028 would be the day we would strike. This time, I promised myself we wouldn't screw it up. I was finally going to get some answers about something that had been with me for most of my life. But then on December 22nd, 3 days before the raid, Alice and I were attacked by people in gas masks while we were going over our plans. And when you woke up, you were in the warehouse.
Yeah.
All of that talking seemed to have tired Clover out. She sighed, and her long hair swayed as she moved. Hey, I've got a few questions.
What are they?
Well, first off, your powers, I guess. I'm guessing you can't use them right now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why. I've been sending my brother messages ever since I woke up, but...
No response?
Yeah. If there was another Esper here, they could make me stronger. But that's just wishful thinking. Wait.
What?
Well, if there's someone else who's stronger than me, then they kind of absorb my powers. Maybe... No, never mind. That's probably not it.
Right. Whatever. I have some other questions, so... Moving on. I think I understand what Alice was talking about now. They were trying to spread that virus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So who are they?
Well, I can't tell you that.
What? Why not? You told me all that other stuff, but this is too much?
Well, Alice would be mad at me.
I already told you I wouldn't tell her.
But...
Fine. Let me rephrase. When are they going to do it?
Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
So you don't know?
No. All we know is soon.
But that could be just about anything.
Yeah. It could be next week or next month or even next year.
Or even tomorrow.
Or it could have happened already.
Wait. You mean they might have already released the virus?
Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like, how about this room? Or that newspaper article? And the 3 people who were put in cold sleep.
Are you saying you, me, and Alice were frozen and the pandemic happened while we were on ice? Wait. No, that doesn't make sense. Nobody else has heard of Radical 6 either.
Maybe they're lying.
Really? All 6 of them?
Well, if Kay really does have memory loss, then it's only 5. Quark is out too.
So you're saying Tenmyoji, Dio, Phi, and Luna are all lying? I guess they are a little suspicious.
Right?
And what's their motive?
For lying? How would I know?
Then what's the motive for a terrorist organization to start a pandemic?
I heard it was something about purifying the unclean?
Purifying the unclean?
Oh.
Wait a minute. Is this the group that Dio was part of?
Unclean. 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 Unclean.
What? What are you doing?
Shut up! Just hold on a minute. I'm this close to remembering. Unclean, clean, een.
She leapt up, suddenly excited.
Neostigmine!
Neo what?
Did you forget it already? I'm talking about this stuff.
As she spoke, she pulled something out of her pocket. It was the injection gun, complete with a vial of medication. Oh, right! I remember that. It was in the safe in the treatment center, right?
Yeah!
I didn't have any idea what it was, though, so I gave it to you.
Exactly!
Are you saying you've heard about this neostigmine stuff before?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just remembered.
You remembered?
My brother told me about that. Neostigmine is a type of colon esterase inhibitor. That means it's a sort of antidote for tubocurine.
Oh my god! I think we know why. I think we know how fucking Sigma survives that one section. Oh shit. Sorry, but I still don't get it.
How easy do I have to make it? Ugh. Okay, fine. I'll start at the top, all right? The stuff I've got in here is neostigmine, which counteracts the muscle relaxant tubocurine. Following me?
Tubocurine is the poison in our bracelets, right?
Right. It's the second thing we get injected with if we're penalized.
First, is this overrated? asleep. 9 minutes later, the turbo ring is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
So you're saying this neostigmin keeps it from working?
Yes! Oh my god, how many times are you going to make me say it?
So we can just inject ourselves with this if we get penalized?
Yeah! We don't have to die. We're gonna be okay. We can only pull the trigger once, though.
That means we can only use it on one person.
Yeah.
Well, it's still good news. This means one of us can break the rules. Once. Like, let's see.
The best way to use it would be for sneaking through the number 9 door. If somebody gets 9 points, they can open it, right? With this stuff, somebody who doesn't have 9 points could still leave with them. Anyway, I'm gonna go tell Alice.
What? Hey! Clover, wait! Clover! It was too late. Clover was already on the lift and gone. Damn. I was, I think, understandably, upset. With no stairs, my only choice was to wait for the lift to come back down. As soon as it was back, I jumped on and headed upstairs. Bye! Where'd Clover go? Fi? Can you hear me? She didn't say anything, just stared at me with her mouth half open. Her eyes seemed slightly glazed, and her body was unnaturally stiff. Oh, she's sick. Fi? I grabbed a shoulder and shook her gently. Slowly, she raised her arm, fingers drooping limply from it. She gestured towards the exit that led away from the warehouse. That way? She went out that door? Fi's only answer was a slow, shallow nod. Right, got it. Thanks. I headed for the exit, then paused. You look pretty tired. Get some rest, alright? Still no response. There was something odd about her, but catching Clover seemed like more of a priority. I turned back around and jogged out the door, toward the treatment center. Huh? This is weird. Where is everybody? I had assumed Alice would be in the treatment center, so Clover would have gone there to find her, but the room was empty. Luna and Tenmyoji were gone too. They'd left Quark, and the readout on his pod said his vital signs were still normal. As far as I could tell, he was still asleep. Fine. Guess it's time to go look somewhere else. I made my way out of the treatment center. What the hell? What is going on here? I can't find anybody. Every single room is empty. wait. There's still one place I haven't checked. The infirmary. Oh. I ran into the room and stopped short. I might as well have run into a brick wall. My chest tightened so much I could barely breathe. No. What happened? I felt my whole body convulse. Whether from terror or nausea, I couldn't tell. My legs went limp, and I crumpled to the floor. Something sticky pressed against the palm of my hand, and I looked down to see blood. A vast warm pool of fresh blood stretching out across the room, lapping at my legs and hands. Why? This can't be real. How could... Oh! In the middle of the lake of blood, like an island of flesh, were bodies. They were a bloody tangle of lifeless limbs and dead eyes, with too much blood and chaos for me to tell who was who. Where's Kay? He's not among any of the dead bodies. Had they sliced themselves open? Or stabbed one another? I couldn't tell. All the blood, too much blood. Whatever they'd done, it was clear what tool they'd used to do it. A scalpel lay in the blood next to them, its handle and blade streaked with gore. This was how they died. This tiny blade. Oh God. This is it. It's all over. This is how it ends. That's right. I have to end it. This nightmare will finally be over. Time to wake up. Oh boy. My fingers scraped across the floor as I picked up the scalpel. I lifted it slowly, carefully to my neck, as if someone were guiding my hand with theirs, and drew it across my throat. Ah! Game over. Oh! Well, shit. So that was a genocide run. And I didn't even realize it. So, that happened. But here's my question. What happened to Kay? Kay wasn't there. And obviously Quark was still in the, he was still in the pod. So he's still kicking around somewhere. Oh, this is a Clover end. Clover's end is everybody dies? Well, okay. Oh! Got a couple of blocks that have been unlocked. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to sit on this and decide if I'm going to go a different route, finish off this path, and then continue with the rest of them before I start continuing with picking up where I've left off, or I'm going to continue off where I left off. At which point it'll be a matter of picking either the blue door here or the blue door here. So, I guess you'll find out the next answer in the next video.